So let's move on then to economy, sir, since you've taken this discussion on the economy front. We've dealt with China. I hear you clearly that on the China question, we really, we really have been caught with no option really in front of us. But let's look at the economy question then, Dr. Swami.
No, we have options, but they are long-term options.
They're long-term options. But on the economy front, Dr. Swami, if I was to say, just on the basis of what I'm seeing in front of me, if I was to say the Indian economy is dead today, will that be a fair point?
Indian economy is?
Dead today? Have it tanked completely? Yes.
No, it's not dead, but it's been hit by corona virus, and we are on the hospital bed on a ventilator. But we can get out of it. This Indian economy. I had one experience when Chandrasekhar came to power. We were told that we have to declare ourselves as a dud economy because we won't be able to pay back the foreign loans we had taken during BP Singh's time and Rajiv Gandhi's time. But we took steps and we turned it around. So I would say that Indian economy can be turned around, but not this way. I mean, we have a demand problem, and all the so-called stimulus or package is all for supply. The demand side is only 1.5%. You see, so I mean, this finance ministry is, I'm sorry, the knowledge of economics is so bad that I think they have never studied economics.
Do you think, Dr. Swami, that the time has really come for us to remove the finance minister? Let's call a spade. or
bring home.
Are we there for a country? Are we there for a country, Dr. Swami, that we can't have any option to who should be a good finance minister?
No, that is for the Prime Minister to decide, because
other than you, of course,
his prerogative. No, listen, I'm not. Mine also coming. I'll have to have the same facility as I had with both Chandrasekhar and Narasimha Rao, and that is to say what I wanted to say and get done what I want to do. If Prime Minister overrules me, then of course he takes the responsibility. I think the issue is that. The Prime Minister has to decide, and he can't have somebody who is just a yes man or a yes woman. See, then the bureaucrats will eat him up.
But who, sir? This whole. I know that you've been a vocal critique of the handling of finance ministry's affairs over the last, not just in this term, but in the previous term as well.
Yes.
Please explain to me, sir. Today, when you're looking at a scenario where your rural employment is at 24%. Urban employment is upwards of 20% and only growing, by the way. The food credit is reaching 1 lakh crores. Look at joblessness. If this is the scenario which is staring at us in our face, Dr. Swami, what can be the way out? Please tell me, sir.
No, I can't tell you a way out like that. You see, I will just tell you the malaise is that we have to rejuvenate the demand factors. And how to do it is a long list. I've been writing about it. The Sunday Guardian has been published 4 now. On this coming Sunday, there'll be the 5th, where I have given these prescriptions. I've been giving prescriptions in writing in letters to the Prime Minister from 2015, saying that we are entering into a tailspin, and soon we, in another 3-4 years we'll crash, and that's exactly what we are heading for. So, it's very clear that economics is not demand and supply, although we have simplified it just now. It's a matrix of economic arguments. If you raise interest rates as Raghuram Rajan kept on raising, yes, you may control the inflation, but then you will create MSME collapsing because the cost of capital has gone up. Similarly, if you cut wages, then suddenly labor becomes cheap and maybe more people will be employed. But at the same time, purchasing power will go down, and therefore demand will go down. There will be a recession. So it's all interconnected in economics.
The fundamental problem that I see, sir, for Indian economy is this. There are a lot of labor class, a lot of, contractual workers who are all working in big cities. I'm in Uttarakhand right now for the last 2 months here. And I've been speaking to all people here, so they don't want to go back to Delhi or Bombay. Now, if they don't want to go back to Delhi or Bombay, how does this impact? How does this impact?
Oh, it will be a huge impact. Many of the industries won't be able to revive quickly unless they make the conditions of work so attractive that
Mm.
these people decide to come back.
Mm.
Otherwise you have to retrain people. These are all trained people now. They may be migrant workers, but they have been working for such a long time that they have learned it by doing.
So,
So we
so
have
let,
a huge problem there.
so let me, in conclusion, then Dr. Swami ask you, and this is a question which I've been dying to ask you all these years, but I could not as long as I was in TV. But now that I'm not, I must ask you this question. Please tell me, sir, are you satisfied with the handling of the economy specifically by the Prime Minister, since the Prime Minister spent so much of his time? He gets the political dividends, but somehow get a sense he doesn't get the economic dividends. Why is that, Dr. Swami?
See, listen, it's unfair on the Prime Minister, whether it is his style or not, I'm not going into it. He is not a trained economist. And he will never be able to tell what's a good policy, what's a bad policy. It's the job of the finance minister combined with the commerce minister who has to tell him like it is and say, this is what we have to do. And I remember when Chandrasekhar asked me, how do we get out of this danger of being defaulting on foreign payments? What is the way to do? Shall we please go and beg the IMF and so on? I said, they will kick you if you beg them, because that is their psychology. What you do is that the Americans want us to allow their planes to land here to refuel, to go to Iraq for the first Iraq war. And we have never, never done it in the past. But if you tell them that you pay all our foreign debts, we'll let you land. And that's exactly what happened. So you have to think out of the box. And for that, you have to have a person who's confident of the knowledge of economics he has. He's not diffident. Nobody should come and tell him, no, hey, what are you doing? This is going to create a problem. He should know exactly what he wants to do. And he should have the political savvy to put it across to the Prime Minister. So it's easy to blame the Prime Minister. And of course, Prime Minister has his style. But why don't the people stand up to him and tell him, no, this is wrong. We are killing demand. This is not the way. Abolish income tax to raise the demand factor. These are things that should be told. Not that, and we believed all these Moody's for so long. Now today Moody has turned against us and said it's going to be minus 6.5% growth rate in this end of this year.
All right, Dr. Swami, here's hoping that, things improve, and here's hoping that you continue to show the mirror to the establishment, which will only strengthen India's democracy. Thanks so much, sir. Thanks for your time.